These are my thoughts on atheism and the existence of God. I believe in a multiverse that is more likely than not infinite, and I believe at least one superintelligence exists in that multiverse. However, I am also a logical and mathematical Platonist. I think that mathematics and logical possibility is most likely Platonic and fixed and unchangeable. I think that 2 plus 2 equaling anything other than 4 is most likely always and forever impossible, I think. Suppose there is a God. Well, a being that is omnipotent, except it can't do anything logically impossible. It can't make 2 plus 2 equal 5 or anything else, and it can't create any paradoxes. How powerful would this God being be? The answer is that we can't know because we are not logically omniscient. So, one way of rephrasing the question, does God exist, is how godlike is the most godlike being? Or alternatively, how much influence from godlike beings does our world have? This could be called something like the ceiling of logical possibility. If there is a low ceiling, lots of hypothetical things either create paradoxes or the mathematics required to create a world system where they work and are sustainable just never exists. If there is a high ceiling, then the universe is much more limitless. Although this makes it much harder to explain the problem of evil. If the ceiling is low, the problem of evil could potentially be answered by the mathematics required to create a world system that is paradise simply never work. If there is a high ceiling, then if God is benevolent, then it would be able to create a world system that does not have suffering, that achieves whatever other goals it has by definition. People like Matthew Adelstein and Robin Collins have made one argument for the existence of God, which is the argument from fine-tuning for scientific discoverability. Examples are the fine structure constant and the baryon to photon ratio. Like, with the fine structure constant, if it were stronger, fire wouldn't work, and if it were weaker, biofuels would burn too quickly. However, I am not convinced by this argument. I think, simply due to worlds with laws of physics that allow for scientific and technological advancement will grow larger in population. So, based on standard sampling assumptions, you should statistically be more likely to find yourself in worlds where there are a lot of humans, assuming you will definitely exist as a human. So I can expect to find myself existing in a world where sufficient technological advancement has occurred for the population to be able to grow larger than that of the carrying capacity of a hunter-gatherer society. Although, in terms of the ethical and long-termist implications of God existing, I personally hope that atheism is true. I think that if theism turns out to be true, that is very bearish for the prospect of paradise engineering, simply because you have an infinitely intelligent, infinitely powerful opponent. If absolute atheism is true, all suffering is ultimately the product of stupid chaos. And stupid chaos is much easier to optimize than a system controlled by a being far more intelligent than you.